Hey guys, it's Emma. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have another list for you guys. I want to tell you guys my top 10 foods thus far from traveling. I love food. I'm sure, like most other massive travelers, food is probably one of our favorite parts of getting to go to other places, or just foodies in general. You totally understand finding something new. They're just absolutely delicious. So these are things that when I took that first bite, I knew that I was dying and going to food heaven. So let's go ahead and get into the list. So number 10 is the sampler platter for two from Lashish in Dearborn, Michigan. This is actually a restaurant that I've gone to most of my life, but it is one of my absolute favorites. So every time I go to visit my family up there, this is a restaurant that I love to go to. It's a Lebanese. Everything on their menu is good. I don't think there's a single bad thing on this menu, but the sampler platter is something that I would get pretty frequently, and it's delicious. So just to read some of what is on this, it has tabbouleh, hummus, baba ganoush, falafel, vegetarian grape leaves, lamb grape leaves, chicken shawarma, beef shawarma, shish tabouk, shish kofta, and it's served with a salad or soup, and it's so hard to pick because the soup and salad are both so amazing, but it's not even that expensive. I think for two it's like $50, and it's definitely more food than two people are going to eat. You're absolutely going to take home leftovers. But if you love Lebanese food, it is the best Lebanese restaurant I've ever been to. I'm sure there are other ones, I just haven't experienced them yet. It's one of my childhood favorites. It's something that I've continued to absolutely love into adulthood, and everything is just bursting with flavor. The bread that you can get with it is just so incredibly warm and delicious, and if you're ever in that area, 10 out of 10 recommend. You have to go. So number 9 is going to be Japanese curry with cheese naan from Coco Ichibanya in Koreatown, Los Angeles, California. I flew out to California when I went to go visit my sister who was living in San Diego. We drove up to Los Angeles for the day, and she actually spent 6 months in Japan a few years ago, and Coco Ichibanya is from Japan, and they have a location in LA, and so this was going to be the first time that she had been to a location in the States, and I had really high expectations for this, and I also didn't expect the spice level to be almost on par with the one in Japan. I think I ordered a spice level 6 out of 10, fully expecting this to be an American spice level scale, and that 6 wasn't going to be too bad. It was really hot. I love spicy food. It was so hot, but there were also these pickled vegetables on the table, and I had to eat that with it, but it burned so deliciously. I got the pork katsu with just the curry and rice. Additional toppings were extra money, and I was kind of being a cheapskate, but it was so incredibly flavorful and hot and spicy and just overall delicious. But I did get the cheese on the side, which is what was recommended. You dip the naan in the curry and just absorb all of those beautiful flavors, and I would say you're definitely not going to leave hungry. I absolutely loved it. It was delicious. Highly recommend going. If you don't like spicy food though, I would definitely recommend getting something lower on the pain scale. If you do like spicy food, just so you know, they do put quite a bit in. I'm gonna say for me, 6 out of 10. I could taste it, but it was burning. My sinuses were really dripping, but it was a good burn, but it did make it kind of hard to get through. I'm very grateful for those pickled vegetables that were on the table. Coco Ichibanya, Los Angeles, delicious. Oh my god. Number 8, this isn't a food, but I went on a cruise, and one of the first stops was to Charlotte Amalie in the US Virgin Islands, and I went on a food tour, and the very last thing that we did was we created this cocktail called a Painkiller. I feel like it's probably called a Painkiller because you cannot taste the alcohol in this thing at all, so you will just drink it until you go numb. But it had rum and coconut cream and orange juice and pineapple juice, and then you shake it up, and then you top it with nutmeg, and it's so smooth and so amazing, and it is now my favorite cocktail of all time. So not a food, but absolutely phenomenal. Highly recommend. I haven't really found one on the continental United States. A lot of bartenders I've talked to don't really seem to know what it is. One time I saw it on a menu and the recipe wasn't the same, but I might just have to make it myself, which could be fun. I was a bartender in college. I can figure it out. Moving on. Number 7 is going to be mango ice cream, but it's not just any mango ice cream. It is the mango ice cream from, which I'm probably saying this wrong. It might be Agape or Agape Chocolate Factory in Bridgetown, Barbados. This ice cream was essentially whipped cream. It was like frozen whipped cream. It was so soft, so smooth, so amazing. It wasn't like a stereotypical orange mango color. I don't know if that's just because they didn't add food coloring or what caused it. This ice cream was just such an interesting texture. As I said, it was basically like whipped cream. I don't typically single out ice cream, but I felt like this is one that really needed to be highlighted because it was just that good. So number 6, I'm worried I'm going to probably mispronounce this as well, and so I apologize to all of the Spanish speakers out there, but it was chicken and pork Loganzia. I honestly, I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish. It was from Restaurante La Samba y Loganzia Dona Maria in Puerto Rico. And this sausage was it was so flavorful. The fat content was perfect. I was just truly blown away. And it came with rice and beans, and I got like a good salad with it. It was really inexpensive, and it was very filling. And I feel like it's one of those sausages that I can't really explain. It is something that you're just gonna have to go try yourself, but it is one of the best sausages that I've ever had in my life. So highly recommend. If you live in Puerto Rico, go get it. If you have a chance to go get it. Number 5 is going to be the Nashville hot chicken from Prince's Hot Chicken South in Nashville, Tennessee. This was my very first time going to Nashville. I had tried a Nashville hot chicken sandwich at another restaurant, but it was really just covered in like a gooey sauce, which I know that's really not how it's done. And this place was recommended to me on TripAdvisor. So I made the drive out with the friend that I was on my trip with, and we ordered our food. I got the Nashville hot. The girl looked at me like I was insane, questioning if I should be ordering that, and I did, and it burned so beautifully. Sinuses were open, dripping. It was delicious. So if you don't like hot chicken, they do have lower levels of heat. They actually have higher levels of heat as well. Personally, I went with the hot because I was, there for the original. I wanted the traditional, and I'm glad I did. Wonderfully flavorful, super juicy. Meat fell off the bone, pickles, the bread absorbed all that extra hot oil. It was so good. Like, I have dreams about this chicken. I hope I can find something else that was this amazing. So Prince's Hot Chicken, Nashville, Tennessee, gotta go. Number 4 is going to be the Cottage Pie with a side of Guinness from Harkin's Bar and Bistro in Dublin, Ireland. It is right around the corner from the Guinness storehouse. So I went ahead and I had lunch before actually going on that tour. I've had shepherd's pie before stateside. I don't know if there's a difference between cottage pie and shepherd's pie. If there is, please let me know what it is. From the very first bite, it was popping hot, and it was just bursting with flavor. And something that I feel like Irish food probably isn't super known for is having a lot of flavor. You think soda bread and like Irish stew. The potatoes were perfect, the meat was perfect, all of the vegetables, and it came with this delicious soda bread and salad on the side, and it filled me up. And then having that Guinness on the side to just perfectly top everything off. And just, if anyone is curious, yes, the Guinness in Ireland is so much better than it is in the United States, and you have to have it. You have to try it. And if you're not a stout person, have the Guinness in Ireland and then realize you're wrong and that it is actually delicious. Number 3 is going to be the combo lamb and chicken over rice from the Halal Paradise in New York City, USA. This is actually just a food cart on the Upper West Side of New York City, but the lamb and the chicken with the white sauce and the red sauce, and I feel like this cart in particular just puts like a lot of love and care into their product, and it's really inexpensive, and it's something that you can just go up and grab for lunch very easily. I honestly think there's just something about Middle Eastern food that makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside, because there's just so many spices and flavors, and it's just delicious overall. But so far it has been my favorite halal spot in New York City. I'm very grateful that it's something local that I can get to relatively easily. Getting to the end, number 2 is going to be beef noodle soup from Puli Township in Taiwan. Unfortunately, I don't remember what restaurant I got it from. I had to rely on the geotag on my phone for the image to even know where it was. Like, this is a dish that Taiwan is really known for. I feel like the beef was just so soft and tender, and the broth was just so flavorful, and the noodles were just chewy and perfect, and you had all the green vegetables, and it was something that I just wasn't prepared for in a noodle soup. I feel like with Asia, they have there's so many different kinds of noodle soups, and you can't compare them because they're all so different and unique. And that is just something, like, this was my first experience with a noodle soup specifically from Taiwan, and I just need to give them so much credit, because it is now one of my favorite soups in the entire world, and I've not been able to find one that mimics the one that I had there, which has been a real struggle for me because of how much I loved it. I'm still on the journey to find one that might mimic it over on this side of the world. I might try to just make it myself. They have so many other delicious things over there, but that soup just stood out to me because it was actually something that we weren't originally going to have. We were going to go get something else and then settled on this place, and I'm just so incredibly grateful we did. And my number 1 favorite food is going to be Döner. Okay, and even though I lived in Germany for a year, this is a word that I've just continuously struggled to pronounce, and I I don't understand why, but it is the epitome of the perfect sandwich. You have that beautiful lamb beef mixture, seasoned to perfection with all your different vegetables, that perfectly toasted bread, spicy and herb and garlic sauce, and it just, all those vegetables, and you just take that bite and it's warm and flavorful and delicious. And it's actually something I had on my very first day in Germany as a foreign exchange student. And what's so weird is the first day I had it, I didn't care for it, but I think it was because I was so jet lagged, and the next time I had it, it was revolutionary. I think because like one of the things I noticed like is in Berlin, there are okay ones and then there are amazing ones. And I think the first one I had was just kind of okay. And the next time I had it, like you will have like Laden spot. It changed my life. It is the perfect sandwich. It is an entire meal in itself. And I honestly, I don't think I'll ever have something top that spot. We'll have to see. I'm hoping to have a long life ahead of me with a lot of good meals still ahead. But like, that is my number one. But yeah, those are my top 10 favorite foods from my travels so far as of 2020. And I'm looking forward to trying many more new things in the future. I hope these have looked delicious, maybe inspired you to go try something new or get out your skills and start cooking something. If you guys have any comments or questions, if you guys have any foods from your travels, I would love to hear about them, have some inspiration for future things. Or if you've had any of the things that I've mentioned, please go ahead and put those in the comments below. Please make sure to also like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys next time.